Great morning. Great morning. Great morning. You guys come on in. Come on in. Come on in. All right. Let me go live on IG. All right. Come on in, y'all. While y'all are coming in, I'm going to go ahead and share. Let me find it. All right. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Share, share, share. Here we go. Let's get it situated. All right, y'all. Let me get these shares in. Hey, Christina. Great morning, gorgeous. How are you? Awesome job last night. All right. Hold on. I'm working, y'all. I'm working. Make sure you let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from, and share, share, share. Share the broadcast. All right. You are so welcome. I'm amazing. I am amazing, you guys. I'm going to share some stuff with you today. Hopefully, it'll bless you the way it blessed me. That's what I'm going to say. Hey, Bernadette. How are you? Beautiful. All right, y'all. Okay. Did I send it today? I think I did already. Okay. All right, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's get started. Y'all know how we start. Every morning we get started. The first thing that we do is we get alive. Listen, if you've not tried Alive yet, if you've not purchased your Alive, make sure you get it. I'm talking about 7-in-1 benefits, right? 7-in-1 benefits. That's at the base. That's not even everything. But y'all know what we do. We got to get it going. Great morning. Great morning. Here we go, y'all. Shot, 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 shot. Everybody shake, shake, shake. Shake the devil off. ABC. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. I'm telling you, do, re, mi. ABC. 1, 2, 3. Alive. It's you and me. Mwah, 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 mwah. Y'all know what we do? We shake it up, pour it up, and drink it up. All right. So here's the trace in the picture. Cheers. Hey, Wesley, how you doing, man of God? Babe, you are poured. All right, so today's drive-by, I was having a conversation with my sister, the lady apostle, and we were talking about a conversation I had yesterday. I shared with you guys. Hold on, y'all. Let me turn on my do not disturb. Okay. So yesterday I shared with you guys that I'd had some trauma, right? I had some trauma that came through an experience with a CEO. Had some trauma. It's not the only trauma I had, but I had some trauma and it dealt with the CEO. Great morning, April. Thank you for sharing. Well, what I realized was that God was using the CEO of the company that we're currently a part of um, to help heal that trauma. So, yesterday I had a conversation with him. And in the conversation, I began to just thank him for how amazing he is, how he pours into us, how he always not only wants the best for us, but provides us with every reason to be successful. So that to not have success, you got to work hard at not having success. In other words, you have to not do anything. You have to not listen. You have to not follow instructions. And so I talked yesterday about following instructions. I talked about the importance of following instructions. And well, maybe was it yesterday that I talked about? Well, y'all know I talked this week about following instructions. So this morning, well, when we were having our conversation, he said something to me. I said, it's been challenging for me to follow some people because of trust, not trusting, or thinking that I know a better way or that there's an easier way, or like just being so used to trying to figure things out. Okay. And he said, it's actually easier to follow. And I didn't say anything. And I didn't say anything because I'm like, is it easier to follow for me? Right? Is it easier? And he said, think about it. He asked me this question. Is it easier to draw a picture or trace it? And I said, trace. He said, exactly. He said, when you follow, you're simply tracing the picture. He said, think about it. That's what we do with Christ. We're tracing the picture. He laid out the roadmap and we just trace it. We simply follow it. We don't have to create a new roadmap. We don't have to do that. All we've got to do is follow the path, the pattern that he's already laid out for us. I said, ooh, that's good. And it hit me. I've gotten so used to drawing that I forgot how to trace. Remember when you first started school, when you were in pre-K or in kindergarten, and you would have the pictures and the letters, and they say trace the letters, trace the picture. And tracing meant that all you had to do was take your pen, or pencil or crayon, and just follow what was already there. Remember how challenging it would be? You want to stay right on the line, right? Well, then something happens and we begin to draw, right? We begin to draw. And some of us, our personalities are wired such that we don't like to trace. We don't like staying in the lines. We don't like tracing. We want to draw our own picture, right? We want to draw our own picture. But it's easier to trace. And I came to tell you guys that in this season, your success is going to be dependent upon your ability to trace. You've proven that you can draw. You've proven that you've got artistic skills. But for this season, right here that we're in, this season, your ability to trace is going to determine whether you get to breakthrough or not. Your ability to, can you trace? Can you take the picture? And can you just follow the lines? Can you stay on there without lifting up your pen or your pencil? Can you trace? Can you trace? Yes, he is, April. He is. He's absolutely amazing. So our dilemma becomes whether we ever say it out of our mouth or not. Is that for some of us, now some people are better at this. It's easier for them. But when you know that you're called to be a leader, sometimes it's challenging to follow. My husband and I were having a conversation, and you can't have too many, you can't have more than one head in anything because it's going to create confusion, right? And that means that someone's got to lead and someone's got to follow. It doesn't mean that the leader doesn't listen to suggestions or isn't willing to hear or, is dogmatic, but there's a reason that the leader is the leader in that situation, in that context, whatever. And an inability to follow, an inability to submit, because that's really what it is, right? And I don't know about y'all, but I have the same challenge with God. And this is not just a people thing. This is a God thing too. God is like, do this. And I'm like, but God, look, if we did it this way, he said, that ain't what I told you. We've got to learn how to trace. Just trace the picture. Just trace. Stop trying to create something new, do something new. Trace the picture, follow the instructions, trace the picture and get the results. Now, so this is what stood out to me. I often talk about April and how when I give her an instruction that she follows the instruction, right? She follows the instruction, she gets a result. Now, this is where God got me yesterday, right? This is what God said to me. He said, listen, you expect others to follow the instructions you give, but you don't want to follow instructions. That's a problem. Why would you expect others to do something that you won't do? And you know me, I'm like, well, God, he's like, well, you don't follow instructions. You want to add to, you want to find a better way. You can never just do it the way it said. And I thought about something because sometimes I get so upset at my husband because he'll take a recipe and he always got to change the recipe. Like he won't just follow the recipe. He always got to change the recipe to make it better, right? And I'm not saying that his adjustments are not good, but I remember thinking, he always changing something. Just make the recipe. Meanwhile, I'm not making the recipe. Meanwhile, I'm not following instructions. Meanwhile, I'm looking at him like, just do it like it says, and then I'm not just doing it like it said. Can you say mirror? So when God began to deal with me on following the instructions, right? Not veering to the left or to the right, but following the instructions. So we had an assignment this week. And my goal is to follow the instructions, right? Complete the assignments. So one of the assignments was to read or listen to Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, Chapter 3 on faith every day, right? And when I listened to it on Monday, I was like, ooh, this is good. But in it, he said, follow the instructions. Don't change anything, just follow the instructions. And he said, follow like a little child. And I said, woo, that's good. Yeah, April, it was a gut check. So I listened on Monday. And yesterday, after this amazing conversation with our CVO and founder, talking about how much I appreciate what he does, right? I had to decide if I was going to follow the instructions, right? Because it had gotten late and I was tired and I was getting ready to go to bed. And I said, I cannot go to bed and not listen to at least 10 minutes of the chapter on faith. I got to listen to it. So I said, okay. So as I went to bed, I put it on and I'm listening to it. And then, I fall asleep. This morning, I made sure that I got up and while I was working out, I listened to it. Right. Because I'm working on following instructions. I'm working on tracing the picture because there's a big picture that's been established for our life, and God is just saying, I just need you to follow me. Follow me. You don't have to trust people, but trust me. You don't have to trust them, trust me. If I sent them into your life, I sent them into your life for a reason. If God wants to bring change to your life, he does it through a person. He sends a person. When God wants to change your life, he sends a person. When the enemy wants to change your life, he sends a person. So our job is to figure out what people's assignment is in our life. And I will be honest with you. I know as a leader what it feels like to have someone say, I love you, I appreciate you, you're amazing, thank you, and not follow your instructions. Not because you just want people, but you know that they're trying to get here. And you say, okay, so to get there, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go up, you're going to go around the curve, right? And then you're going to come down and you're going to find yourself in that spot, right? So they're saying, oh, but if I just go in a straight line, right? If I just go in a straight line, not knowing that there are some obstacles in that straight line that you're taking them the other way so that they can avoid it. There's a reason for the instructions. Like the instructions are not random. So what happens is we think the instructions are random. And so let me just change it because if I change it, I can do it better. I can do it more efficiently. But there's a reason the instructions are the instructions. There's a reason that the path is the path. The path is designed to get you to your destination. And listen, in the process, it may take you a little longer to go up and around, but you avoid some breaks. You avoid some obstacles, right? But it don't make sense to you. And because it don't make sense to you, you don't want to follow the instructions. You don't want to trace the picture. So you do it your way, but your picture ends up off. Now you trying to figure out why my picture don't look like the picture. Because you did not follow the instructions and you did not trace the picture. You did not stay on the line. So if you know what the picture is that you desire for your life, the picture that God has given you for your life, what he's shown you for your life, and he's given you specific instructions, and he's placed people in your life to provide you guidance and assist you in getting there, follow the instructions and simply trace the picture. So what I know is this man has made $60 million at 40. He just turned 40 last year. He's already made in his lifetime $60 million personally. Personally, he's done that. So if he's made $60 million personally at 40, and I'm 57 getting ready to turn 58 and I haven't made my first million, does it not make sense to just trace the picture? Doesn't that make sense? But what gets in the way is all that education. What gets in the way is all that life experience. Because we're older, we somehow think that we know more. We somehow think that we can figure out a better way. We somehow think that there has to be an easier way. There has to be a quicker way. But the truth of the matter is, there's a reason that you got to pay the price that you have to pay. And if you don't pay the price, paying the price prepares you for the next place that you've got to go, for the next thing that you've got to do. If you won't pay the price in the little things, what are you going to do with the big things? You're not going to pay the price. But because we know everything, because we know better than everybody, because we're so smart, we don't want to trace the picture. We want to draw the new picture. Now, listen, God has created me as a forerunner, someone who is to carve out a path for people. But one of the things that would always frustrate me as a forerunner is that I got the lumps, the bumps, the bruises, and somebody else got to come behind me, and they don't have to go through all that because I've already paved the way, right? And I say, I wish somebody would just pave the way for me. So here I am. I find myself in a situation where God has placed someone in my life who has paved the way, who has the roadmap. He knows exactly what to do. He's proven himself to me. I ain't talking about everybody. He's proven himself to me. I've seen consistency. I've seen his dedication. I've seen his commitment. But most of all, and most importantly, I've seen his care and his concern. See, you can have made all that money, but not care about people or not care about me. And it's going to be challenging for me to listen. This is not someone, and I've encountered people who've made the money, but their care is off. It's a lot of manipulation and all of that. And I don't do well with that, right? And God will always show me and he'll move me. But I don't see any of that. So here I am, and what I've asked for, God has placed in my life. And now I got to trace the picture. So how did God get me to this place? He started at home. Now, because I'm so used to doing everything on my own, because I'm so used to having to figure things out, because I'm so used to that, it's been a struggle for my husband to tell me to do things and me just do them. Because I need to know why. And I don't want you to help me with that. I want you to help me with this. I don't want you to tell me how to get there because I'm gonna use the GPS because that's easier for me. I don't want you to tell me when I need to get gas. I don't want you to. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm a whole grown woman. I've been getting gas all my life, but I've also run out of gas because I didn't get gas when I needed to. So there's been this resistance. So what God has had to do is he first, listen to me. He first made me submit to my husband. And then he showed me how that submission is key to unlocking everything else in my life. Because it would have been a whole problem if I listened to another man, but I ain't listening to my husband. Don't y'all think that would be a problem? I don't know about y'all, but I know for me, if I'm saying something to my husband and he ain't listening to me, but another woman say it to him and he's listening to her, that's going to be a problem for me. Oh, you can't listen to me, but you can listen to her, right? We've got to readjust and realign ourselves. We've got to understand God's order and why it's there. We've got to, and women who are single, if you're single and you do not respect the man that you're with enough to listen and follow, then he might not be the one. Or he may be the one. And God is going to do an adjustment on you and needs an adjustment on you. I know he needed an adjustment on me. I know God is adjusting me. It's like I'm at the chiropractor. Y'all know how when you go to the chiropractor, they say, hey, this might hurt a minute, you might hear a pop or whatever, and they begin to adjust your spine. Now, the adjustment is necessary because when your spine is out of alignment, what happens is it affects your breathing, it affects blood flow, it affects everything else about your body and your brain because your brain is not able to get oxygen the way it needs to get oxygen. So the adjustment may be uncomfortable. You may hear some pops, it may hurt a little bit, but afterwards, you feel brand new. Afterwards, you feel like a new person. Afterwards, you got more energy. Your blood is flowing. You can breathe, like everything is coming together. Y'all listen, angel number 122. In this season, we got to learn how to submit, follow, and trace. Submit, follow, and trace. This heart on here was not drawn freeform. Okay. So my husband, 12/12 is the day that he proposed to me, right? This is one of my gifts. Because he's known to give me random gifts. He just, he's like that. And I love it, right? So all of these have the same thing on them. Okay. Each of them was not hand drawn, right? Literally, there was a pattern that was established. That pattern was then imprinted on them one by one so that they would all have the same imprint. I know it's challenging, y'all. I'm not saying that there's not challenge associated with it. I'm not saying that it won't require you to stretch. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy. I'm not saying any of those things. But what I am saying is if what you've been doing has not netted you the results that you desire, if what you've been doing has not produced the change in your life that you want, then maybe, just maybe, God is trying to get you to follow the instructions and trace the picture. It's easier to trace and get a specific result than to draw it. Because most of the time when we're drawing it, we're trying to create something that hasn't been created. But if it's already created and the pattern is already laid out, why not just trace? Listen, this isn't even connect the dots, right? Connect the dots. You still got to draw the lines, right? This is simply tracing the pictures, which means that it's not just lines. It's the curves. It's the intricate details, but it's there. And no matter how complex the picture, no matter how complex the image, if you just trace it, So that's what God said to me today. He said, yes, April, don't recreate the wheel. Yes. He said, trace. Just trace. I know you can come up with all the ways that you think it could be improved, but just trace. I'm feeling real convicted. But even in the conviction, I still have choices to make. Am I going to trace? Am I going to follow? Am I going to submit? Am I going to continue to do all of the heavy work and all the heavy lifting? It's a choice. So if I choose that, I can't be mad that it is what it is. Can't be mad about it. So the same is true in the stuff that God's given me, right? So when he gave me the Destiny Driven Masterclass, he said, I'm going to give you a plan. I'm going to give you a plan, okay, of how to walk people through to get to destiny. Now, it's interesting because, and maybe that's the dilemma for me. I'm so used to God giving me things, do this, do this, do this, that when he says follow, 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 here they go. This year, good news. Come on. This thing made sense. It literally took all the things he had been showing me and teaching me and having me teach people, and it began to create the picture, the big picture. And so as the big picture is being created, I'm like, wow. And as I go through those things, as I do those things, and I'm seeing my results, right? And other people are seeing my results, they're like, okay, I can follow this plan. Look, destiny is yours and it's specific to you. The plan, it's your plan. It's God's plan for you and it's specific to you. But what he gave me was some things that's required of us to get to destiny. And it's powerful. And it makes so much sense. And now I understand. All of this is connected. The creating, the following, the submitting, the tracing, all of it's connected. There will be times where you're called to create, right? He's made us a creative force. We're creators like him, right? Because we were made in his image and his likeness, okay? But there'll be times when you just got to say what he says say, do what he says do, go where he says go. You understand? So there's a time to create and there's a time to follow. There's a time to lead and there's a time to follow. There's a time to be in the front and there's a time to be behind, because being behind provides you with protection. And that's the thing that I think sometimes we forget, particularly as women, when it comes to submission and the man leading. When we lead, it means that we have to be the ones taking the hits. We have to be the ones experiencing the blows, right? We were not created to be the ones experiencing the blows. But because things have gotten out of order and out of alignment, we've ended up having to do that. So when God brings a man who can take the blows, who can lead, listen, then our challenge becomes following. Maybe it's not your challenge, maybe it's just mine. But my challenge has been following. And that follow is challenging because I don't trust you to lead me. It all goes down to trust. And it's not even just about trusting him, because really it's not about you trusting him. It's about you trusting God. You got to trust God and let God lead him. I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. And it ain't necessarily easy to break out of your patterns, out of our patterns, but it's necessary. It's necessary. And men, what I'm going to tell you is this: be follow worthy. Be follow worthy, right? And being follow worthy has less to do with how much money you make, less to do with what your house is or what you drive, less to do with how many degrees you have, and more to do for your ability to hear God's voice and your ability to trust him. If you can be a leader for me in that area, then I can follow you. If you can show me that you've got vision and that vision is a vision for us, right? It's our vision. I can follow you. I can follow that. I'm saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that's important. You got to be able to articulate that. And we've got to be able to hear it. So it's a dual thing. It's not men who just need to get it together or women just who need to get it together. It's we need to get it together. And getting it together means trusting God. All of us trusting God first and foremost, and the plan that he has for our lives and our families. Then next, get in order. Trace the picture. It's worth it. If you can get a plan that you can trace, right? A plan that you can just run the play, That's a game changer for you in your life because you're going to see accelerated results. That's why mentors are important. They cut in half the time it takes for you to get to where you're going because they give you some things because they've already experienced them. Don't miss that. Don't miss that trying to be independent, trying to create, trying to do this and trying to do that. Don't miss it because you'll miss what God is doing in your life. Listen, you guys, I absolutely love you guys. Love, 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 love you guys. I'm so excited about what God is doing in our lives, and I'm so excited about how he's doing it. Listen, if you've not registered for Destiny Driven Masterclass, which is happening this Saturday, go ahead and get your registration in. It's $50 to register for the regular course, and for VIP, it's $88. So for $38 more, you get a 1-hour individual session with me. And I'm telling you, those sessions are amazing. There's so much that happens in them. Normally that session is $125. So you're saving like about $90. You're saving about $90 off of that 1-hour session. So you get the class and that. What you say? Listen, I'm telling you, you can't beat it. I pray that this word has blessed you. I pray that you got something out of it. And most importantly, I pray you heard the voice of God speaking to you concerning your life and your situation. I always tell people, take the word and then you see what that does for you. Where is it in your life? What's happening for you? Like, that's where you got to go. Well, how does this impact me? God, what are you saying to me? Apply it. Don't just hear it. Apply it and watch what God does. Listen, if you've not sown your $55 seed, $555 seed, $5,555 seed this month, go ahead, get that seed in the ground before the end of the month and maximize on all that's happening spiritually by having seed in the ground to help produce your harvest. You can do that at Cash App, $DRV Johnson 777, DRV Johnson 777. Listen, know this, know that I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Have an amazing, incredible, and epic day. Be blessed. Mwah.